Hello gamers, Son of the Forest is finally out and this is my review. I just had a chance to play Sons of the Forest and I'm ready to share some impressions with you. If you like games in genre of survival horror, then this game is a must play. I will tell you about the game including system requirements, gameplay and reviews from other players. So let's get started. Son of the Forest is a survival horror game that puts you in a crazy world filled with cannibalistic mutants and dangerous animals. As a player, you must collect resources, build shelters, and fight for your survival. Everything is the style of the forest. The game has excellent graphics and sound design that create an intense experience, but be aware, this game is not fair on hard. One of the most interesting things about Sons of the Forest is the multiplayer mode. You can play with your squad and explore the world together, fighting cannibals and fighting for survival. It's a completely different experience when you play with your friends and it adds a whole new level of fun and existence to the game. Before starting the game, make sure that your computer system can cope with the task. The system requirements are no joke. You need a 64-bit processor and operating system, at least 8 gigs of RAM, and video card with at least 2 gigs of VRAM. Before starting the game, make sure you have a reliable installation, otherwise you may experience lags or crashes. You can find a complete list of the system requirements under video. Sons of the Forest is a survival horror game where the main scene is explore and stay alive. You will need to collect resources such as food, water and materials to build a shelter. You also need to be alert to avoid dangerous animals and cannibalistic mutants lurking in the shadows. The game has a variety of weapons and tools you can use to defend yourself, but sometimes it's the best to avoid a fight. However, allies may also meet your way, Virginia and Kelvin. There are a lot of weapons in the game. This time there are even a full-fledged guns, which is good news. I would not say that it's more than loot than this is the first part, but it's really decent. There are bonus items that will simplify the passage, but I don't want to spoil them too much. Okay, just once, just look at this cross. Before I announce the menaces of the game, I also want to express my respect to the developers for the sounds. They are chic. Atmosphere is 10 out of 10. What I didn't like. Unfortunately, the game has a lot of cons. Let's start with that should be fixed soon bugs. In general, it's well optimized, but in some places FPS drops are left. And when you fill your inventory to capacity, freezes will begin when you open it. As for the guns, there is a bit of imbalance. For example, if you opened a shotgun, found a back shot on it, that's it. You are invisible even on the highest difficulty. Any enemy will die within a one shot. However, this is also can be fixed. An interesting bug: if you restart the game, all loot will be generated again. And finally, the plot. Oh, guys. Well, it is perhaps even interesting in places, but there will be no wow effect like in the end of the first part. Literally, a couple of cutscenes and instinct main villain in a cool hint for a sequel or completely new game. Reading all the notes, I didn't really understand shit, only guesses. I'm not only the one who's seen Sons of the Forest as an epic game. Feedback from other players was mostly positive. People rave about the immersive experience, challenging gameplay and stunning graphics. The elements of fear are very intense and you will be looking around constantly. And the multiplayer mode is a real blast, allowing you to team with your friends and fighting this whole crazy island together. Overall, I highly recommend Sons of the Forest to all hardcore gamers who love a good survival horror game. The game is challenging, addictive and very addictive, especially with friends. Just make sure your computer can handle it before you start playing, otherwise you might be dealing with some issues, but trust me, it's worth it and its game is already available on Steam. So play Sons of the Forest right now.